It's the return of the noisy jacket. Hello everyone and welcome to another video.
Think I know you better to forget her. Certain people made for running. Think I need you more than let you know I'm bored and tell me this means more than nothing.
So today we are going to be talking about my most anticipated releases for the winter spring era of the year. I've never done a video like this. I usually don't keep up with new releases, but I decided to make a bullet journal page. Yes, we're bringing the bullet journal back again, about anticipated releases for this year. And so I thought, since I decided to do that, I might as well make a video. So here's my page. I had to change some of the dates because book dates have been being pushed back and stuff. So you can thank my bullet journal for making me want to make this video. But I'm also now on, hopefully, going to try to keep up with new releases and new book announcements. I don't know if I will read all of them like soon after they come out, just because new books are really expensive and they take forever to get on loan from the library. And so I don't know how well I'll be able to keep up with new books and reading the new books, but I will try my best. So the first book I have on this list is actually already out, and it's Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. So this book came out on January 12th, and it follows the story of Maverick, who is Star's father from The Hate You Give, and it takes place when he's younger and he finds out that he's a dad, and the only way he knows how to support his family is by selling drugs for a drug lord, and of course that is an issue. So I'm really excited to see how this book goes. Angie Thomas is a great author, and I really like the family element of her story, so I'm really excited to see what she's gonna do with a character that we've already seen, but in his past. Next I have The Project by Courtney Summers. This book is set to come out February 2nd, which is actually the day after I'm filming this, so it'll be out by the time you guys see this. So this is the author of Sadie. That came out a couple years ago, and it took the whole world by storm, and I did read it and I really enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to read this author's other book. But what makes me even more excited is that this book has culty vibes, and I think that cults are really interesting and interesting to read about, so I'm really pumped to see how that goes. This book follows a main character who is always on her own, and her sister is part of this unity group, but the main character doesn't really believe what her sister is telling her that's going on in this unity group. So like I said, definitely cultish vibes. Sorry, my heat just kicked on, so you're gonna hear that in the background. But I think this is going to be a really interesting story, and it could definitely be really dark, which I am so down for. Next is Game Changer by Neil Shusterman. This book is set to come out February 9th. This is the author of the Unwind and Scythe series. I'm currently reading the Unwind series. I read the first book, still need to continue the series, and I have read the first book in the Scythe trilogy. I didn't really care for it, so I didn't continue that series, but I know a lot of people really, really love it. But overall, Neil Shusterman just really writes really interesting stories, and so I'm really excited to see what his new story will be about. So this story is about a main character who's a football player, and during a game one day he is hit in the head and he suffers a concussion, and that sends him to another dimension. And like, I don't know how you would write this story. This sounds really unique, really interesting, but I'm so pumped, so down for it. So I'm really excited for this one to come out. Next I have my most anticipated book of the year. I've been anticipating it since like 2019. Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab. This is the third book in the Cassidy Blake series, which I talk about all the time. I love this series. It's a middle grade series about a girl named Cassidy who can see ghosts, and her parents are famous ghost hunting novelists who then get a deal to do a TV show where they travel around the world to very haunted places, and they don't know that Cassidy can see ghosts and that her best friend is a ghost, so there's lots of issues for Cassidy as they're going through all these haunted places. I love this series. It's so easy to read, one of my favorite things ever, and I'm so pumped for the third book. I have been waiting for it since I finished Tunnel of Bones, which was in November of 2019. So I'm so excited for this book to come out, and it's set to come out on March 2nd. Next, I have another sequel, Mirror's Edge by Scott Westerfeld. This is supposed to come out on March 30th, and it is the third book in the Imposters series, which is sort of like the spin-off series of Uglies, which is a very popular YA dystopian from like the early 2000s. I read Imposters back in like October or something like that. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed rereading the Uglies series, so that's a plus. His writing style has definitely gotten better. I haven't read the second book yet, but I need to because the third book's coming out. Essentially, the story follows a set of twins named Rafi and Frey. And Frey is the main character, and she's sort of Rafi's stunt double because nobody knows that Frey actually exists. They just think that it's just Rafi. But whenever Rafi is in danger, they actually send out Frey, and Frey has actually been trained to be in these life-threatening situations. So yeah, she's Rafi's stunt double. And so their dad is actually like the ruler of this country, and he is doing this really risky deal with the ruler of another Providence country thing. And so he sends Rafi over as collateral damage, but actually he sends Frey. It's a really interesting story. I really liked the main character and the whole idea of them not knowing that there's two of them, and it was really good. And I'm really excited to read the other books in this series. I just haven't done it yet. Next is The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. This comes out on April 27th, and it is a sequel slash spin-off book of the Really Devious series, which I have read the first two books. Haven't finished the series yet. So I don't know a lot about this book specifically because I didn't want to read into it too much and spoil myself for the end of the Truly Devious series. But from what I know, it follows Stevie's first mystery investigation outside of Ellingham Academy. So definitely another murder mystery, and I'm always down for those, and I really like Stevie as a character. So this one sounds like it's gonna be really, really good. Next, I have Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. This one comes out in May. I've actually never read a Morgan Matson book. I have Since You've Been Gone. It's literally right there, but I haven't read it. I've had it for like 2 years. I just need to read it. But I know Morgan Matson is a very popular contemporary writer, and I really like contemporaries, so I'm sure I will like her books. So this follows Kat and Stevie, who are best friends but also have very different personalities. They plan on going to New York City for a party, but they don't plan on losing their phones, losing their money, and losing each other. So this sounds like it's definitely going to be interesting, probably a fun time, but also a little bit nerve-wracking, but I just love myself a good contemporary. Next is Last Chance Books. I don't know who the author is. Next is Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey. This is set to come out May 5th, and this follows a main character named Madeline Moore, whose family owns a locally owned bookstore and has owned them for a long time, and she plans on taking over the store after she graduates college. But one day, a chain bookstore opens across the street from her and is threatening to shut down their bookstore. So now she has to destroy that company, but Jasper, a worker at the competing bookstore, is intent on ruining her life, and he's also kind of cute. So this sounds like it's going to be a really cute, fun, bookish romance, and I would love to read from the perspective of an employee at a bookstore. It sounds so fun, and I'm really down for it. And last on this list, I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't know unless you've been living under a rock, but Taylor Jenkins Reid is the author of very, 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 very popular books, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six. So this is her newest book, and people are raving about it. People are so excited for this book to come out, and as am I. It's set to come out in June, and it follows 4 famous siblings who decide to throw a party to celebrate the end of the summer, but over the course of a day, their lives change. And it also takes place in 1983. And normally, I don't mind reading synopses that much. I'm okay with it. I'm not one of those people who likes to go in blind for the most part. But for this book, I kind of want to do that because the other 2 Taylor Jenkins Reid's books that I've read are very much books that you just need to read. And so I didn't really want to know much more about this plot. So sorry, that's not really much to go on for a synopsis, but I just really want to read it for myself and find out. But yeah, that's all the books I have on my anticipated releases for the winter and spring. I will hopefully do another one of these videos closer to summer and fall when those books start getting announced. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please let me know down below. Are you anticipating any of these books? Are there other books that you're really excited about? Let me know. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss any future bookish content from me in the coming year. And if you want to follow me on social media, all my links are in the description box down below as always. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
All you see is black.